Have you ever felt like a phantom in a room full of friends? You smile, you nod, and you listen, yet you feel entirely invisible and alone. You are the anchor for everyone else, the one who understands everything. But deep inside, there is a hollow space that is growing wider every single day. In our culture, we praise this as being understanding. We call it a virtue to be the person who never complains and always puts others first. But behind this beautiful mask of maturity lies a heavy, silent price. It is a cost that most people never see and almost no one ever acknowledges. We spend our lives translating the needs of others while our own language goes unspoken. We become experts at empathy, but remain complete strangers to ourselves. You are the one who cleans up the mess, the one who yields the seat, the one who laughs off an insult to keep the peace. But when the lights go down and the crowd disperses, who is there to understand you? Who holds the space for the person who holds everything? Tonight, we are going to peel back the layers of this silent sacrifice. We are exploring the psychological weight of being the one who always understands. This is not just a story about kindness, it is a deep dive into the hidden wounds of the soul and the struggle to find one's voice. It is time to look into the mirror and see the person you have been hiding. It is time to count the cost of your own silence. Welcome to a journey of self-discovery, where we confront the shadow of being too understanding and find the courage to finally speak our own truth. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, once observed that the greatest privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, without any fear. He introduced the concept of the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate the world and meet the expectations of those around us daily. For the understanding person, the persona is a masterpiece. It is polite, patient, and eternally kind, designed to keep everyone around them perfectly comfortable. This mask often begins in childhood, where we learn that our value is tied to our compliance. We learn that being good means having no needs. But as we build this perfect front, we push our true desires into the shadow. The shadow contains everything we deem unacceptable or too demanding for others. When the persona becomes too thick, it begins to suffocate the shadow. We lose touch with our anger, our hunger, and our very sense of self. Being understanding is often a survival strategy. It is a way to ensure we are loved and protected by never being a source of conflict. However, this perfection comes at a price. Jung warned that whatever we do not bring to consciousness will eventually return to us as our fate. The understanding person is trapped in a golden cage of their own making. They are praised for their prison, while their spirit slowly withers away inside. True maturity is not the absence of conflict, it is the integration of the self. Being purely understanding is often a form of emotional self-betrayal. We tell ourselves we are being virtuous, but we are actually being dishonest. We hide our truth to maintain a peace that is ultimately quite hollow. The divide between who we are and who we show to the world creates a profound sense of alienation that no amount of praise can heal. Every time you say it's okay when it isn't, a part of you dies. You are trading your authenticity for a temporary sense of social safety. The path to wholeness requires us to face the shadow. We must learn that our unacceptable parts are actually the keys to our true power. Understanding should be a choice, not a compulsion. It should be a bridge between two people, not a wall that hides your own soul. The first scar of the understanding person is the abandonment of the self. You spend your life building homes for others while your own remains empty. You become a secondary character in your own story. Your needs are always the last on the list, if they even make the list at all. This neglect breeds a deep, quiet sadness. It is the grief of a person who has forgotten what they themselves actually like or desire. You water everyone else's garden while your own soil turns to dust. Eventually, you forget that you were ever meant to bloom for yourself. This is the paradox of the caregiver. You provide the comfort you so desperately need, but you are the only one who never receives it. The second scar is toxic guilt. You feel responsible for the emotions of everyone around you, as if their happiness is your personal burden. You apologize for taking up space, for having an opinion, for existing. You carry the weight of sins you never committed against people you love. This guilt is a poison that paralyzes your will. It makes you easy to manipulate, because you are always seeking forgiveness for simply being human. You live in constant fear of disappointing others, not realizing that the person you are disappointing most is the one staring back in the mirror. The third scar is emotional numbness. When you spend years suppressing your negative feelings, you eventually lose the ability to feel anything at all. Your world becomes a flat, gray landscape. You are no longer bothered, but you are also no longer alive with passion or genuine, heartfelt joy. This is a protective mechanism that has gone too far. You have frozen your heart to prevent it from breaking, but ice cannot beat. You become a spectator of your own life, watching the scenes go by without ever feeling the impact of the story you are supposed to lead. The fourth scar is the total loss of boundaries. Because you understand why people hurt you, you allow them to keep doing it repeatedly. You mistake tolerance for love and passivity for peace. You have no walls to protect your inner sanctuary from the demands of the world. Without boundaries, you are not a person. You are a resource. People don't come to you for you. They come for what you can provide. You are exhausted from the constant invasion of your time and energy, yet you feel you have no right to say no to anyone. The fifth scar is silent resentment. This is the anger that has no outlet, the fire that burns inward because it is never expressed. You feel a growing bitterness toward the very people you are trying to help. You resent them for not seeing the sacrifice you never mentioned. This resentment is a slow-acting poison. It erodes the foundation of your relationships, turning genuine kindness into a calculated, heavy burden of debt. One day, this pressure will find a way out. And when it does, it will be destructive, surprising even you with its hidden, volcanic intensity. The sixth scar is relational exhaustion. You are tired of being the only one who works to keep the connection alive and healthy. Every conversation feels like an uphill battle. You are doing the emotional labor for two people, and your spirit is simply running on empty. You find yourself wanting to withdraw, to disappear, just to have a moment where no one expects anything from you at all. This is the burnout of the soul. It is a fatigue that sleep cannot fix, because the source of the tiredness is your own kindness. The final scar is the loss of identity. When you are everything to everyone, you end up being absolutely nothing to yourself. You look in the mirror and don't recognize the person looking back. You have spent so long being understanding that you've lost your own shape. You are a collection of echoes, a reflection of other people's needs. The original sound of your soul has been drowned out by the noise. This is the ultimate tragedy. To be loved by everyone for a person you are not, while the real you remains completely unknown. The price of being understanding is the loss of your own existence. It is time to stop being a ghost and start being human. Imagine a beautiful piece of music being played, but every single note is slightly off-key. It sounds almost right, but something is fundamentally wrong. Living as the understanding person is like playing a song that is half a step out of tune with your soul's natural frequency. To the outside world, you seem harmonious. You are the perfect accompaniment to their lives, never missing a beat or causing a single discord. But internally, the friction is unbearable. You can feel the dissonance in your chest every time you suppress a truth or hide a genuine feeling. You are performing a role that was written for you by others. You have become a virtuoso of compliance, a master of the polite, silent smile. You are a spectator in your own body, watching a stranger live your life. The real you is buried deep beneath layers of social expectation. This dissonance creates a constant, low-level anxiety. It is the sound of a spirit that is crying out to be heard and finally seen. You are afraid that if you play your true melody, the audience will leave. You fear the silence that might follow your honest, raw expression. But what is the value of an audience that only loves a lie? What is the point of a symphony that excludes the lead instrument? Your internal music is becoming distorted. The longer you wait to tune your life, the harder it will be to find the original melody again. You have traded your resonance for safety. You have chosen to be a background hum rather than a powerful, unique, and resonant voice of truth. The rhythm of your life is dictated by others' heartbeats. You are out of sync with your own breath, your own pulse, and your own soul. It is painful to be yourself when you've been a mirror for so long. The shards of your true self can feel like they are cutting. But the pain of being off-key is far worse in the long run. It is a slow death of the spirit, a quiet, rhythmic fading away. Listen to the silence between the notes. That is where your true self is waiting. It is time to start playing your own, honest music. Being too understanding is like looking at the world through a fogged window. You can see the shapes, but the details are lost in the mist. The fog is the accumulation of all the things you have left unsaid. It is the moisture of your own unshed tears and hidden, quiet sighs. This veil protects you from the harshness of reality, but it also prevents you from ever truly connecting with the vibrant life on the other side. You think you are being empathetic, but you are actually seeing a distorted version of others. You are seeing who you think they need you to be. To be truly authentic, you must clear the glass. You must be willing to see the world as it is, and let the world see you. Clarity is not a threat, it is a foundation. Only when we are honest about our own needs can we build relationships that are actually real. Understanding others is a gift, but it should not come at the cost of your own vision. You deserve to see and be seen clearly. This process of clearing the fog can be frightening. You might see things you've ignored for years, truths that require you to change your life. But the fresh air is worth the fear. The ability to breathe without the weight of a mask is the first step toward true, lasting freedom. You are learning to distinguish between empathy and self-erasure. You are realizing that your perspective is just as valid as anyone else's in the room. Authenticity is the antidote to the understanding trap. It is the courage to be imperfect, to be demanding, and to be profoundly, beautifully real. You are no longer just a mirror. You are a person with depth, color, and a story of your own that is worth telling to everyone. The fog is lifting. The world is becoming sharp and vivid again. You are finally coming home to the person you were always meant to be. This is the beauty of clarity. It allows for true intimacy. We can only be loved for who we are when we dare to show ourselves. Don't be afraid to wipe away the fog. The view on the other side is more beautiful than any mask you could ever possibly hope to wear. The journey back to yourself begins with a single, difficult word: no. It is a word that defines your borders and protects your inner soul. Saying no to others is the only way to say yes to yourself. It is the first act of self-love for the chronically understanding person today. You are learning to integrate your shadow. You are realizing that your anger is a messenger, telling you where your boundaries have been crossed or ignored. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are the lines of your history. Like kintsugi, your healing makes you more beautiful and more valuable than before. You are reclaiming your narrative. You are the author of your feelings, and you no longer need permission to feel what you feel every day. Let the expectations of others wash away. You are not a vessel for their needs. You are a force of nature with your own unique direction. True understanding is a choice, not a duty. It is a gift you give from a place of abundance, not a sacrifice you make from lack. You are allowed to be difficult. You are allowed to be inconvenient. You are allowed to be human, with all the messiness that entails for us. Root yourself in your own truth. The more you stand for yourself, the more you can truly stand with others in a way that is healthy. The person in the mirror is your first priority. Only when you are whole can you offer a love that isn't a form of hidden, desperate bargaining. Release the need to be the good child. Freedom is found in the courage to be yourself, even if it disappoints those who want you controlled. The past is being washed away. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, one that is built on honesty rather than mere social compliance. Your heart is finally beating for you. Listen to its rhythm. It is telling you that you are worthy of love just as you are today. Your relationships will change. Some may fade, but the ones that remain will be deeper, truer, and more fulfilling than you ever imagined possible. Integrate your light and your dark. Be a whole person, not a perfect one. Wholeness is the only path to a life that is worth living. You are becoming your own lighthouse. Your truth is the light that will guide you through the storms of other people's expectations and your fears. The price of being understanding has been paid. Now, it is time to enjoy the rewards of being real, being seen, and being truly free. Be truthful, not just understanding. For in your truth lies the only real connection you will ever find with yourself and with the world. The journey continues. Walk it with your head held high, for you are finally living your own life. You are finally, beautifully, and authentically yourself. If you've been playing someone else's song for too long, let me know in the comments which scar resonated with you the most. It's time to write your own melody, and subscribe to join us on this journey.